Speaking of, the Ole Miss Rebels at home on Oxford, facing, as Scott mentioned, a very good Tulane team, undefeated with already 2 big wins over Power 4 teams, with Northwestern having gotten past them already, and then also getting the big win against Duke out of the ACC. Now on the road, instead of playing at Yeoman Stadium, up in Oxford, where there's an outstanding environment, another great day, gorgeous day for weather. The Grove, is hopping when the Ole Miss Rebels are playing at home. Well, it's a good day for the Rebels, not so much for the team wearing green, but here we go. They come out firing. Trinidad Chambliss. Now, look, this might be the starter, Scott. He was coming off the bench. He's not even supposed to be their number 1 guy. His numbers are absurd so far in 2 games.
And I think it speaks a lot about Lane Kiffin as an offensive mind, especially in the college football game. Lane's been outstanding, no matter who's playing quarterback. Go back to many years, he's always had success at that position.
He had a 13-yard pass. That's a 41-yard scramble. Then it ends with this bullet into the end zone to Daquan Wright, and Ole Miss has a 7-0 lead. Rough start for Tulane's offense and Jake Retzlaff, who has been wonderful so far this season. This one thrown behind receiver. This one on a scramble is thrown into the dirt. Second quarter, down 13-0. Still no completions for Tulane's passing game. Retzlaff says, I'll fix that. Remember, I can run. Deep drop, avoids the tackles, finds some room, and now he's off to the races. 30 yards here for Retzlaff on a great pickup using his legs. Unfortunately, the offense stalls, but it sets up Patrick Durkin, 34 yards out at this point, still perfect on the season. It's 13-3 Rebels. Very next offensive play. Chambliss again, up top. Deshaun Stribling, 53 yards on this completion. Boy, these chunk plays, and they hit you so fast with these. 5 plays later, Kawan Lacey takes it in on the direct snap. It's now 20-3. The Wave have it, closing out the first half. Retzlaff across the middle, trying to get things going, and it's dropped. That's the kind of day Tulane had. Tulane opens the third quarter with a 14-play, 7-minute, 70-yard drive. Ole Miss, they come up empty. Ole Miss then scores 22 points in the fourth quarter. Rebels win it big, 45-10. Here's Coach Sumrall after the game.
Not our best today. Frustrating performance. It's on me. Starts with me. Ends with me. I got to have our guys more prepared to play better football. Felt like hats off to Ole Miss. Really, really good football team. Really well coached team.
The tempo is fast. It's fast. it's legit. The thing is just trying to get it lined up before they do. I think we did a decent job of that, but we practiced it all week. I think they just made more plays, so it was more difficult in that aspect.
The thing I was most pleased with in the game, I'm still frustrated with all of it, but the third quarter, our guys came out and fought. Like I told them, I'm like, guys, your character's revealed when things aren't going good, not when it is going good. And right now, things aren't going very good at halftime. Can't fix anything that's already happened. All you can do is move forward.
We shouldn't focus on this L. We don't look at losses as a loss. We just learn from our mistakes. And I feel like going into next week, we got to come out harder, practice harder, and do what we got to do.
I mean, every week you got to flush the game. You got to move on. Whether you win or lose, you have to move on. Because if you don't, it's gonna either beat you the next week or another week down the road. So just knowing we haven't arrived, knowing that, hey, we got to come back and bring it every day. Every day you got to bring it. Otherwise, somebody's gonna come in and sneak up on you.
That's a hurt locker room. I mean, those guys have worked really hard. And they know they didn't perform their best today. And that's everybody. It's me. None of us were at our best today. And that really sucks because we missed an opportunity today. It was a special one. We got conference play starting next week. That's pretty special too. And I will address with them. I already kind of hit on this, but I will address with them that, conference play is the beginning of a new day. And when you get into conference play, conference championships are kind of one of the biggest goals you have every year. And so I think this group will focus and turn our attention towards conference and be ready to attack it.
Well, like many teams getting ready to get into conference play, that's where it becomes important, and it will for Tulane. Next week they will be at Tulsa. More on them in just a moment and some of the similarities they will see. But, Scott, as you take a look at this, you notice they have 3 games and then 2 bye weeks in the next 5 weeks. But that brings it to the end of the month, and I take it back to our preview show. The 2 teams mentioned as being contenders in the American, UTSA, Memphis, both of those teams on the road, back-to-back, after that second bye week. So to Summerall's point, this is where things start becoming important.
Yeah, and you look at those bye weeks. Sometimes having that many bye weeks, it can be good and bad. It can be good because you should be fresh after those, but it's bad because sometimes you lose a little bit of a rhythm as a team when you have to knock off some rust. But you look at what happened yesterday against Ole Miss. Ole Miss at home, we talked about it yesterday. Since 2020, over 500 yards a game at home. Yeah. They did it again, 548. Yeah. I think if you're Tulane, the biggest concern you have coming out of this game is probably your inefficiency in the passing. We've seen Retzlaff been great with his legs all year long. Yeah. But if you want to get to where you want to get to, and that's winning a conference championship and hopefully the college football playoff, the inefficiency in the passing game, they have to be addressed a little bit.
Yeah, Tulane hopes that was just a one-off because he's been outstanding in his short time at Tulane. But it took him to almost the end of the first half, late second quarter, before Retzlaff got his first completion. I think he missed like 9 in a row, 10 in a row before he finally got one. The other thing for Tulane of note, the last 2 times they've played an SEC team, they lost big to Florida in the bowl game to end last year, and then now against Ole Miss, they've been outscored 78-18. So you know there's some things they need to adjust size-wise, strength-wise, and maybe schematically. But when it comes to scheming, and especially Ole Miss, and we talked about this on Game Notes on Saturday morning, Ole Miss is one of the best teams in the country when it comes to speed. I want to just show you this sequence, okay? Now, this is fourth quarter. Scott, fair to say the game's put away, right? 31-3. Watch this on a 53-yard completion down inside the 10, inside the 5. Now, watch the clock. When he gets up, it's 12-10 on the clock, right?
Yep.
You're up by 28 points. 12-10, remember, is when he got off the ground. So we are just about going to get to, here we are here, we're about to get to 10 seconds, and Ole Miss is already almost at the line of scrimmage with no huddle. They're going to go about 5 more seconds in the next snap. They're third in the SEC, 9th in the country, averaging 22.4 seconds per play. This one went off at 21.
Yeah, and this is Lane Kiffin offense. These guys practice this from the moment they step on campus. This is our tempo. This is how we run our offense. No matter what the score is, this is what we do. And the hard thing about defensive football, replicating that tempo in practice, you can't replicate it. Because what happens in practice is, I remember when we played tempo teams, you'd have the scout team who go off of cards. They don't know the other team's plays. They're looking at what their assignment is. So you'd have multiple scout teams looking at cards and sprinting in as soon as that play's over because they don't know the plays, obviously. They're running them off cards. So it is impossible to replicate the true speed until you get to the game time.
Well, Tulane plays Tulsa next week. Tulane's 9th in the country at pace. Tulsa's 10th. So at least Tulane's gotten a little taste of it. Yep. And, oh, by the way, LSU might want to check out this game film because they're rolling into Oxford next Saturday afternoon.